Yeah, you're welcome back to Sosa blog, the Africa blogging station. Today we are going to uh, be talking about the African leaders' visit to Europe, to Ukraine, to Russia, and yeah, we have to talk about it because, as we all know, this was a wasting of time uh, for Africa, and wasting of resources for Africa to show themselves in the international stage. You know, I talked about it yesterday about how our leaders were being fooled in Europe, Poland, and all other European countries. You see, the problem is not just being an African or being a leader in Africa, but the problem is the preparedness and the readiness of our leader to consider things before they do it. Because we believe we have enough support at home uh, to to go to Russia or to go to Ukraine to talk to these people and to tell them what to do or what not to do. It's like many of us doesn't really understand what is going on in the international states, and that is why Africans we always lose. We have it always to lose everything before they understand what is going on. In case of the visit to Kiev, when they visited Kiev, Russia allowed its military to shell Kiev massively without even considering that the African leaders in Kiev that they could be heard in Kiev, and we went from there to Russia. We moved from there to Russia, uh, trying to convince President Putin to support the peace initiative. We need to understand where we are stepping into because where we are stepping into is very, very, very difficult and very, very, I would say, sounding area where we can sink and we have the point of no return. As I've been saying, all African leaders we are having today are not being schooled in Africa. They are not being schooled in Africa because most of them went to school in Russia, in the United States, and the other part of Western Europe, and they lost our values. They lost our values because of the Western influence, because of the influence the Westerners impose on them during schooling in Western Europe. I'm also one of them, and also be influenced by the European culture and so many other things today. I would like Africa not to go in that point, to go in that way, because we will lose ourselves. You see, we have a lot of problems at home. We have this problem in Sudan. We have this problem in Uganda. We have this problem in Senegal. We have this problem in Congo. We have this problem in them in Mali. We have so many burning places in Africa today. There is no OAU leaders uh, traveling there with their entourage, plane loaded with more than 200 security personnel, and the press or journalists accompany them to that area. But today, we spend a lot of money going down to Ukraine, going down to Russia to do nothing. I've always said this in South Africa today. In South Africa today, the population of the poor black Africans is is more than 80%. 80% who cannot even afford to have a meal a day. And the South Africa president is spending much on this trip. And some of them are dying of AIDS, not to talk about that. And some of them are dying of criminalities because they have no other choice. You see, when Congo also accompanied them, and we have to ask, for more than 25 years now, there have not been peace in Congo. You don't have peace at your home, and you are trying to bring peace to another person's home. And that is a disgrace. Then we have other African leaders who are not even ashamed of themselves going out there in the international arena, disgrace themselves, and coming back home. I would like to know what they achieved with this. They achieved nothing. They were disgracing Poland. They were disgracing Ukraine. They were disgracing Russia. You know, I don't know how we are going to explain this to our children or to our people to allow them to understand the purpose of this mission and the result of this mission. You know, if we want to prove ourselves in international stages, we have to repair our house first, economically, maritally, ready to defend ourselves, economically, to put foods on the table for our people, to provide security for our people, which is not going on today. In part of Nigeria today, in the Borno state, there are still thousands of refugees who are being displaced from their home. Go to Mali today and the Niger Republic, we have the same problem. You see, we have a lot at home. We are having foreign forces in our land, and we are doing nothing about that. We are doing nothing about that. We have UN in Congo. We have UN in Mali. We have UN in Niger. We have UN in Somalia. Now we have Sudan. We have Libya. Tunisia is also a problem country. You see, we have, not to name all, we have a lot of problems at home. We cannot solve. We are not sending diplomats. We are not even defending the people. We are not even defending the children. I want to ask the South Africa president about the children that has been displaced today in Sudan, what he's doing about it. When he's talking about the children in Ukraine, he cannot even talk about the children in Sudan. He cannot talk about the children in South Africa that are being raped every day. He cannot talk about the children in Mali that has been displaced up since 10 years now. You see, you have to ask these people so many questions. What are they doing about this? What are they talking in international press? What you cannot do in your home house. I'm not against anybody, against any country. You see, we have so many issues to resolve in Africa. For example, in Ghana, we have these children being displaced as witchcraft children. We have this also in Nigeria. We have this almost in all Africa. Go and look at Syria alone today. They are not yet to recover from the civil war. Likewise, Liberia. We have all this mess in Mozambique. You know, in Mozambique, we have all this mess. And today we are running to go and save Ukraine and the Russia when we cannot save ourselves at home. I cannot understand the nature, and the purpose of going there. You know, when you don't have anything to write home about in Africa, because Africa is moving towards another second slavery, because this is Sudan is just a push. It's just a push, and we can already see this in South Sudan. We can already see this in Chad. We can already see this in the neighbors surrounding Sudan, that they are already feeling the heat. You see, the Wagner soldiers from Russia, They are already committing atrocities against our people. There have been rapes, there have been genocide, and we are keeping quiet. Genocide is going on in Sudan. We are keeping quiet. We are running to Ukraine to go and save other people rather than to save our people. Genocide has been going on in Libya. Nobody did something against it. And now we are running to Europe. We travel to Europe with millions of dollars to go and help Europe. Europe has been causing confusion in the land of Africa. The Westerners have become causing confusion in the land of Africa. The Russians have become caused confusion in the land of Africa. And we are doing nothing against it. We are going to Ukraine to tell them to stop the war when we cannot tell Sudan to stop the war, when we cannot tell the invented Islamic rebels in all Africa countries to stop the war. I don't understand this. Please, President of South Africa, please explain this to me. Explain this to me. President of Congo, President of Comora, and the Organization of African Unity, please explain this to me, for me to understand, for me and the people to understand the purpose of your traveling to Ukraine without considering Sudan, without considering Mozambique, without considering Libya, without considering Somalia, without considering so many other places, like Ethiopia today. There's also a civil war there, and nobody is talking about it. Senegal, we have this problem. In Gambia, we have this problem. In almost all Africa countries, we have this problem. And no African leaders have ever thought of going there to do something about it. And the African leaders are not even united. All you see them in social media opening their mouths to comment in the issue that is not even important to Africa. That are not even important to Africa, that we don't even have to have an open ear to, not to talk of commenting. People are praising leaders because they didn't sign something into law. Sign something into law to reject gay something. Why in his country, killing every day? I can't understand how Africa reasons. This is for me something unbelievable, and we need to do something about that. It's very, very important we do something about that because the inferiority complex of our leader is bringing us down. It just starts from so many issues. For example, the schools in Africa. There are so many children today who cannot afford to go to school in Africa, and you are talking about the children in Ukraine. There are so many children in Africa today that cannot afford a meal a day, to afford to eat a day. Go and tell this to the children of Sudan today, or some children in Nigeria, Borno State, or in Zambia, in Gambia, Ivory Coast, in so many African lands today. And you are talking about Ukraine. I don't understand you. In South Africa, you can see how people are being misused for alcohol and all of that things. And the president is not talking. He's not talking about that. He's not doing anything about that. The rapes and all that, he's not doing anything about that. Black Africans are being killed in South Africa daily. He's not doing anything about that. The homophobias that went wrong in South Africa, that is still going on in South Africa, he's not talking about that. As for South African black brothers killing other black brothers, nobody is talking about that. And this need to end, and people need to do something about that. We have to be choosing our leader not just because of the qualification they're having, we also have to choose them because of the value they have for Africa, because this is very, very important. And for the tradition of Africa, because we know the word democracy is a manipulative something. It's manipulative something that Africa need to end. It's any change that is not African need to be ended in Africa. Africa need to be brought back to Africa. because all we have today is foreign influence. We have from the religion, no matter the type of religion it is foreign in Africa. We abandon our original culture, religion, and all that. We inherit something we think is civilization. And today I can tell you there's nothing like civilization in Africa because civilization is destruction. It's destruction, and that is just the meaning. So Africa has already been civilized before these people came. And now we are going down. We are going down, and we are going down. So it's time for us to rise up again and fight for ourselves. Because this is the time. The second slavery is on its way. So thank you for joining me. And it's a sad one and a very, very painful. I need people, I'm sorry, people need to understand this. So thank you very much. And I hope you have a great Sunday and a great week ahead. Thank you for joining me. Bye bye. Yeah, Africa need to learn a lot. We need to learn a lot, and also to make sure Africa continue to be in international space.